Today we will take a look at the blending technique. If we have never met, my name is Zen and welcome to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe for more PDR related content. Blending is one of the techniques used for dent repair. This is an advanced technique that is not for beginners. So if you are just beginning to learn PDR, this might not be something you want to learn at this moment, but it is great to see and get familiar with it so you know what else you can learn in the future. If you are past the beginner stage of dent repair, then PDR blending is something you would want to learn as it will make your repairs faster and cleaner at the end. So what is blending? It's simply opening up the dent in a way that will make the dent go from one small dent to one bigger, wider dent that will be impossible to notice. Imagine this is a dent. You need to hit it multiple times with a blending hammer so it will open the dent up in this direction. Then repeat the process in the other way and around the dent. Basically, you made the dent look like this in the end. I mainly use it to get the final waves out of the panel, but you can also remove smaller, shallower dents with it. This video is created so you know that this is out there and it can maybe be your next thing to learn in dent repair. Blending is really important for me and it does two things. First, it will help me get any repairs more flat because I can step away further from the dent, which will allow me to see the flatness of the panel, and I can do the final touches I need to do on the dent. See the distance from my eyes to the dent when I'm using the tap down? Now look how far away from the dent my eyes are now. This allows me to see the flatness of the panel much better. The second thing I use blending for is to remove those small dents and save a lot of time. There are some technicians that only use blending hammer and no tap downs. This is definitely a viable option, but much harder to do because tap down still gives you that precision when tapping down. I'm not saying you can't be precise with the blending hammer, but it's much harder and you can miss hit much easier. There are a lot of different blending hammers out there. Different lengths, sizes, weights, and options to change tips or not. You also have a variety of tips available to use if you have this option on your hammer. My favorite blending hammer and at this moment is the Ratchet hatchet. This hammer is great as you can adjust the angle of the tip to hit the panel completely with the flat part of the tip. That way you can keep your hand in a position that you are most comfortable with. As you can see, this is how most blending hammers are. Straight, so your hand needs to adjust to hit it at the right angle. But with this, you can adjust your tip angle instead of adjusting your hand angle, so you can also rest your hand if you want. This is also one of the lightest hammers out there. The weight is important. No, lighter is not better and also heavier is not better. The weight depends on what you plan to use the hammer for. Let's say if you're trying to blend a strong crown, then the heavier hammer would be a better choice because you won't have to use so much force. Weight of the hammer will do its job. But for what I'm mainly using blending technique, this hammer is just perfect. First, let's watch the fast forward of me blending this one dent. You can see how the dent is slowly but nicely opening up. Also notice how far away I must go in order to blend it. Now, let's watch in fast forward motion how I remove these 5 small dents on this rail using the blending technique. These are small and shallow dents. You could use this technique to blend bigger dents as well, but it would be much faster to just glue pull them. You can see all about glue pulling and how I implement the glue pulling technique and the blending technique in my previous video. I will leave the link down in the description. If this is something you would like to learn, I recommend you do it in person because, like I said before, it's a more advanced technique and hard to video it and show and explain all of the details. With this video you are watching, we are only scraping the surface of blending. Make sure your tips are always clean and polished so they don't leave any marks on the surface, especially if you're using metal tips. If you have enjoyed this video or it has helped you in any way, make sure you click the like button down below and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and happy blending!